Good evening. Tonight we're playing Scholar. I don't know if it's particularly good. I don't even know if we've actually had a C's frontline in a long time. And when I'm saying good, I mean, of course, whether it's good for C's specifically. Scholar is one of the best jobs at just doing a lot of damage by just... Well, we've talked about a plague doctor is what it's usually likened to because of deployment tactics, allowing you to spread a dot on an army. And if you're really smart about it, you can spread it even further by spreading from one of the targets that got hit by the first spreading. So, I don't know if I can actually showcase that. Let me just try 1 second. And also, hey Phantasar. I'm assuming you're doing well considering I was talking with you just a moment ago. You can see here. So we take the first target, spread it over here, and then you can spread it over here, but of course you'd need to be in range of the second target for that to be even remotely helpful. So it's mostly convenient if you use expedient spread to expedient to apply a stronger biolysis to one target, and then you spread that, and then you see that someone that got hit by the spread is in a position to spread to way more targets than you can spread again. But in general, it's probably not that efficient to use double deployment on every expedient biolysis. I don't think it is, but maybe we'll discover that it is. So Phantasar, did you want to join for Frontlines? I'm also just gonna check in on Sip, because he did say he wanted to join. You can join, Phantasar. I did say last week that it's much more fun if there's other people, like especially people from the stream that wants to come along. Then there's a chance that we might be able to work together. There's also a chance that we can just laugh together at the chaos that is Frontline. And Sid wanted to join as well. Naturally, there's more interest in Frontline now that there's a Moogle Tombstone reward for participating. It's not even remotely close to good in comparison to strategies that are actually effective at farming Moogle Tombstones, like specialized strategies, but it's like free Mog Tomes. If you're doing Frontline anyway, it's completely free. Hey Pokeshack, how are you doing? I did mention on the community Discord yesterday that there was a strategy that was discovered that appears to be completely overshadowing other strategies. It's not completely obvious because it's a little strange, and also not everyone actually has the particular encounter available. But originally... Oh, and good to hear, Pokeshack. I'm doing well. Originally, the expected strategy was to do Bravelock's Longstop hard. That's 4 Mog Tomes, and you can do that in about 4 or 5 minutes. I think it's closer to 5, maybe even 6. And the thing is that you need to be extremely specific. Like the first boss you can kill with missile, the second boss you can't, which means that you have to... All players in the party has to perfectly perform the blue mage rotation, like with Moon Flute and everything, all of the primal abilities. Like, it's really, really involved. And on the last boss, you all have to line up your final sting and all cast it in this, like, almost the same frame, then the boss dies outright and you can skip all of its intermissions. Now the problem with that is that that requires brain power and teamwork. What if you could just not do that? What if you could just you could choose to not do that? Introducing battle on the big bridge. So this is an encounter from the Hildebrand storyline. The way that it works is that you need at least 7 blue mages, and some of them need more than the bare necessities. You need at least 2 blue mages with either death level 5 or ultra vibration. And if you're using ultra vibration, you preferably need 2 other blue mages to have Ram's voice. But the idea is that you need to be able to instantly kill a pack of 3 mobs twice. That's the idea. Then on the first phase, you use all of the power you have. You need to have Moon Flute among other things, but for the most part, primal spells just make it faster. You don't need it. You just need to do some damage, and the probability that no one in your party of 7 or 8 blue mages has like a bunch of primal spells in a big burst is high. The probability that people actually have the tools is high. So you can pretty much assume that if you bring the minimum requirement, then it's probably fine. So you just nuke the boss, then he will become he'll become untargetable for a little bit, and after 15 seconds he'll fight you a little bit more, but if he's already below 25%, he'll only attack you for like 7 seconds, and then he'll suddenly remember that he left the oven on. Then there's the 2 packs of ads, and then when you're past that, all you have to do is find a moment to cast Whistle, find a moment to cast Moon Flute, someone has to cast Off Guard, and then you cast Swift Cast, Final Sting, and 7 blue mages will kill him if you have, you know, at least downscaled gear. Like, all of your gear has to get synced down. What would you like, Sip? Oh. But yeah. The strategy is essentially huh? What's wrong, Fantasar? So the strategy is go in, beat the ever-living daylights out of the boss in battle on the big bridge. Wait for him to become targetable again. Do it again. Make sure to not let the person that turns into a frog die, because someone will be turned into a frog and will slowly die if you don't make sure to heal them. And then you kill the ads twice, run up to the boss, kill it with Final Sting. And there you go, 2 Mock Tomes. Now the reason why this strategy is very effective is because it takes about 80 seconds to do. If you're a little bit less coordinated or something goes wrong, it'll take like 90 seconds, but my record was 77 seconds, I believe. So it is absolutely doable, reliably. And that is in contrast to the alternative, which was Brayflux Longstop Hard. You need a bit more people, but the fact that you only need 7 blue mages, meaning that the 8th slot can be anything, really. Literally anything. I did some runs with a tank and it didn't go any slower. That is really lucky for Immortal Flames. Praying to pink to grant us victory. If only that worked. I think it's a good idea to keep the map up. And also... this. Enjoy the dots. On one hand, I feel inclined to want to try and help heal, but I don't have very much healing to like, share. Enjoy the plague! Now, one problem I always faced with the Scholar limit break is that it's not very clear when it's a good time to use it, I feel. So I'm just going to be a little aggressive with it and just use it whenever there's even the smallest little opportunity to spend it. Because otherwise I'll just end up sitting on it for the entire match. Which we don't want. So there's a lot happening that is not here. Why are we fighting here? That is a huge mistake. Pokeshak says, typical Scholar sowing the Black Plague among the enemy ranks in Frontline 2022. Colorized. Ah yes, the good old days. You thought it was Scholar, but it was actually Plague Doctor. Is he just going to get away with this many people chasing him? Also, wow. This is a rough position to be in right now. Our team is very much spread out in a way we don't want to see. I think I'm dead. Yeah. Seems we're a little cut off. What went wrong there is that I went for something without the rest of the team. We don't want to do that. Oh boy. The best I can do is just spread as much damage and chaos as possible. Strangely, a lot of players dislike having a dot ticking on them. This person might be... Oh yeah, I was just going to say, I think he would be dead if he didn't stop to heal himself. Just the dot through the shield would be enough alone. Plague Dr. Warrior of Light. Ah yes, war crimes. My favorite. Now we're not going to get a lot of kills as a scholar. That is going to be something we'll just have to get used to. We're mostly just laying some pressure, helping other players get kills. Like so. No! No! Okay, I can't help. That is way too much damage. Don't get sandwiched, someone announced. Even if I'd love to eat a sandwich right now. Ah yes. A leader with humor. I like it. Though you guys are a lost cause. I don't think it's very safe to go in for that. Yeah, I'm not going to risk that. Going to need to figure out what we're going to do now. I don't know why we're just letting them have the point without any repercussions. Like, why are we just camping on our spots? That is very dangerous in terms of battle high. That's not good enough, Sage. That's not good enough, Sage. I want a pig sandwich. Warrior, where's your team? Where's your team? Where's your team, friend? Do you realize that it's us two next to my base? Yeah? Have you realized this? I don't know why you ran away. Like, my pet can still heal me from there. We actually need to leave right now. Looks like a blue team is coming in hot. I appreciate your enthusiasm, Mr. Warrior, but you alone does not have the firepower to stop me. And I don't know why you're in our base. Do you realize where you are? He's not done. He's apparently... That was impressive. And impressive tenacity of those two. They chased me all the way home. And now we have a problem, because there's blue right outside our gates. We either stop to actually deal with them, or anyone respawning is in massive trouble. That's true, Nikolai. For some reason, Warrior has... Well, let's just say that Warrior is more like the Blood Death Knight from World of Warcraft than Dark Knight is. Yeah, they really didn't like me. Whoop. What? That's just a paladin here. What? It's just randomly a paladin, right in our midst. Can we fight that spot? Hard to say. It's not too surprising that blue went completely onto us like that, because we are still in the lead. Oh, nice! Battle High 3, look at you! Nice. Guys, be careful going the background way. You might get sandwiched between red and blue. Apparently we have the 5-star next to our base. Which means for some reason that our team has decided they don't want Battle High at all. They just want to camp. Okay, someone talk some sense into the team. What? I got 2 kills for that? Well, I'll take it. Can we kill that ninja? We can, excellent. Just give me all of the assists in the universe. This is bad all of a sudden. What's happening? See. Get an overview. Hold this. After all that, we don't even get to have the point. Oh. Sit with the Battle High 5. Look guys, I brought someone to carry me. Yeah, he's got Battle High 5. Why did you give up the chase? We could have had him. The big spread. I don't know if I hit much, but I tried. What? This is a really, really bad choke point right now. Oh, he's going to Whoopsie. The Whoopsie is coming, I think. Oh, wait, what? Oh, we won. Just going to point out the damage done for once. 1 million damage done. And the first place in damage done is another scholar. I like this order is Sip saying epic top 3 of kills, even though I mostly just stole them, and then Poke Shack coming in with war crimes won again. Yeah, Sip with the kill steals allegedly, but who's to say? And me with the plague, and well, Luna's basically using farming equipment for battle. Who knows? Well, that would be, just to go back to the subject we were talking about before the frontline started, my advice would be, if you're going to farm Noctomes, my suggestion would be battle on the big bridge. If you don't have the spells to do it, which is absolutely a possibility, then you can try and get into a group anyway by offering to be the tank. Now, the reason why that is an option is because since you only need 7 blue mages to do it, some parties bring a tank. Why? I don't know. I'm actually not sure what the tank is supposed to be doing in that run. I'm guessing that he tanks during phase 1, which lasts like a grand total of 10 seconds. And he pulls the boss at the end, assuming he gets there first, which means that there's a smaller chance that the boss is randomly going to stun one of the blue mages. But yeah, exactly, Sip. The tank is usually that one friend who does not have blue mage. It reminds me of this, I don't know if any of you have played Warframe, but there used to be this leveling strategy in Warframe to like level up weapons and your frames, like level up your gear essentially, which is a huge part of the game, which required someone to be the Excalibur Warframe and spam a specific spell. Now the thing is that you needed to be high enough level to cast a spell, which typically meant that you were probably already maxed out on Excalibur. And then you also needed someone else to be Trinity. Now, that one didn't need to be as optimized, but it was probably very likely that you were maxed out on your Trinity because you only level it that much. And then you also needed someone to be Rhino. So that's 3 Warframes that are mandatory. The 4th player didn't need to do anything. Like, they were not like an important part of the equation. They could just be there. Now the thing is that if you kill something with a weapon in Warframe, half of the experience goes to the specific weapon you used and half of it goes to the frame, or something to that effect. If someone else kills something, so you get like XP share from it, then some of it goes to your frame and some of it goes to each of your weapons, which means you get a little bit of everything. Now, if you kill something with a Warframe ability, then all of the experience goes to the frame. If you've played Warframe, there's a chance you already know where this is going. The Excalibur player, who is the only person using an attack, because Rhino is giving a damage buff and Trinity is giving Excalibur infinite mana. The Excalibur is the only one killing things, and he's killing things exclusively with a Warframe ability, a spell. So the Excalibur, who's likely already max level on Excalibur, gets all their experience in Excalibur, meaning nothing, because they're already maxed. Everyone else gets weapon experience, and the bonus player 4, who can be anything, also gets frame experience. Now, this strategy doesn't exist in the same way anymore because they reworked some maps, which meant this particular strategy wasn't as effective today. But like, it's many years ago, so like at least 5 years ago that this was a thing, if I remember correctly. But it's really funny because in nearly every one of these XP farming groups, the host of the group, the one that started the party, was almost always the bonus player. So that means that you had an Excalibur, a Trinity, and a Rhino, and the guy who made the party. Now, the funny thing is that I learned of this strategy through a friend that really loved to play Mesa, the Frame Mesa, who was the alternative option instead of Excalibur in the strategy, and he liked to do it. He found it interesting. Now, the problem is that if you do it as Mesa, you will also get nothing out of it. So he sort of played himself. Ha! Zip comes up with a genius suggestion. I should start giving Sprouts my inventory items. Might clear up all this totally not junk stuff. And now you might be wondering what he's saying about that, but if you remember Small Kai's inventory from Saturday, that's Zip's inventory on the daily. Like, that's just how his inventory looks, for some reason. I believe the example I'm thinking of, Pokejak, in Warframe was a survival mission, but I'm not entirely sure. It was probably a defense mission, now that you're mentioning it. It was just like this particular safe spot. You could stand like up on a high point and just hit everything. Oh, 2 assists. Oh, and a kill. Oink. Hey, Zip. Pokejak has a character on Louis Soir. You can just give the items to him. Uh-oh. We're going to get sandwiched. That is a bad order. I should have used shield first, because the shield actually gives you more damage output. Oh, nice. You know, the best part is that instead of me having to run around and try to make sure that I tag enemies if they're looking to die real soon, if I see my dot on them, I can just like, oh well, I hit them like 15 seconds ago. I definitely hit them. And that was a bad dot. Shouldn't have done that. Oh. Wow. We're doing really well right now. This could really quickly go south, though. Because I have a feeling that our party is going to try and yoink that as... Oh, look, Zip's there. Zip's there. Are you sure that's healthy, Zip? Watch out for yourself. Don't die. It's not worth it. What? This is crazy. What? The red mage just gave up? Oh wait, he's running away. Then I don't want to melee combo them, I guess. Where is our team? Now that's a lot of damage. I don't have my deployment tactics ready. We can't. Not when half of our party is in the sandwich and we need to be on the same... No. You can forget that, Mr. Warrior. I have felt this... I can see this coming from a mile away this time. Last time I let a warrior just randomly walk up to me, they never let me go again. Crap. I'm not trying to kill steal with the mummification, it's just that incidentally that's how long it takes for me to get into melee range. Oh, what a shame that you got dotted right there, huh? Are we getting the point? I really like Scholar. Feels great. Now the thing is that if I'm not going to run really far, I'm dead. Oh dear. It's very safe to play Scholar for the most part, because you can just, like, pass out dots and stuff from 40 miles away, and then if things happen to go south, well, you're safe. Or maybe not. Oh, blue team is in a little bit of trouble. You know, I have to say that the Scholar limit break is pretty good at just establishing a foothold anywhere. Just the small amounts of healing helps a ton. I've done everything I can for you, Dark Knight. Have my 4,000 shield, I guess. Good luck. We need to watch out where our team is. We're getting double-sided, and yellow's just going spear mode right into us. It's not good. I think I hit nearly like 10 people there. That's a guess. It looked like there was at least 5. This might be okay. Might also not be okay. So instead of risking it, I'm just going to stand back here, guys. Don't worry about it. What? That was a whoopsie there. Why are we fighting here? I think we're losing this one. We're pretty much at the massive lead that we had at the start and nothing else. The biggest benefit of the Scholar limit break is mostly that nearly all of the healing that we have comes from it. So if I see a lot of people need healing, then that's my only option to help them. That helps a lot in motivating the use of it in the first place. Now, we're in a lot of trouble because blue is getting that. And blue can't have that. They just can't have that. Then we lose. Completely. And we're already losing, so that's pretty bad. I don't think I can do a lot about that. There's just too many people there. Yeah, you tried, Phantasol, you really tried. We just can't. Not with this many enemies and so few of us. I'm not sure what you want to do, Mr. Machinist. Ah. That was the wrong time to apply dots. I think it just fizzled and now we lose. And I'm so close. I was so close to Battle High 5. So close. But I did the most damage. That's at least something. And Zip was pretty high on kills. How did you do, Luna? That's fine. I think we re-experienced on the week where I was playing Reaper. That Reaper is really difficult in Frontline, so don't worry about it. I literally spent the majority of the match never really engaging in combat, and just staying on the back line. Meanwhile, Luna tried to do, like, to go in, and as melee, sometimes that's just not an option. So don't worry about it, Luna. Eventually, you'll figure out exactly when to use Limit Break to beat everyone. And then, you're going to be a menace. Insip says, I put my shield up and the ninja started to attack me, which meant he lost his Battle High 4 in seconds. Ah, yes. That Sip. That is what we call a whoopsie. Hmm. And Pokeshack says, one question, which tank is more squishy, Gunbreaker or Paladin at level 82? Yeah, I have, also parentheses, I have more, because we have talked about specifically that level range for tanks before. So, I would say at level 82, between Gunbreaker and Paladin, I think it heavily depends. Counter question. Let me check something. Paladin. Yeah, Paladin is the squishier one in the level 82 dungeon. Paladin easily is the squishier one among them. Now, if you had said the level 84 dungeon, then it would be a different story. Now, the thing is that when you're leveling up, like when I leveled up all of the tanks, I didn't notice it that much, but in recent weeks where I have sometimes played, you know, a dungeon as Paladin specifically, I've noticed that while Paladins self-healing during their magic burst with requiesced and everything isn't as overwhelmingly powerful as Warrior, you know, with Bloodwetting just going, I'm indestructible for 8 seconds or so. The 400 potency after every single attack you perform for like 20 seconds for the Paladin is insane. Like, while it isn't so strong that you can just use that and nothing else, the thing is that because Requiescent is an attack option and not a defensive option, it means that you're typically going to be stacking Requiescent with a defensive cooldown, and Requiescent with a defensive cooldown heals you for plenty, like absolutely plenty to keep you alive. That is not to say that Gunbreaker can't keep themselves alive, but I would say that Warrior has this ability to be completely self-sufficient for a vast amount of its tanking in a dungeon. And even in a raid, Paladin also sort of have this capability with Requiescent. It's not as powerful, but the thing is that because it doesn't scale with number of enemies, it is probably like better in smaller skirmishes, like 1-to-1 with a boss, and specifically when the Paladin is healing themselves, or just if you don't need that much healing, then being able to heal a little bit every GCD for 20 seconds instead of healing infinite amounts for 8 seconds. Now, I would say that the 20 seconds is the superior option. Gunbreaker doesn't have that. That's what it boils down to. Gunbreaker just does not have that. The Gunbreaker's advantage is that it instead has Heart of Corundum, which heals you when you need it. You could say Holy Sheltron technically only mostly heals you when you need it, because it's only a heal over time that stacks with your Requiescent effect. Oh yeah, and Sip says, it's good time to move my limit break bar. I would recommend making a separate loadout for your HUD for PvP and move your limit break bar in it, like down to where you would normally keep your gauges and stuff. But yes, that means that Paladin has the ability to get, you know, about 650, I believe, heal potency every 3-ish seconds if they keep Holy Children and Requiescent up. Gunbreaker has, I think, Heart of Corundum is 800 or 900 potency, but it is, you know, when you need it. And then Aurora, I think that's 200, 250 or 300 every 3 seconds, and you can use that twice in a row if you want to, but it's not as much as the Paladin option. It's not as much, which is the sole reason why I think Gunbreaker would be the squishier one. Now, if you had included Dark Knight in your question, then Dark Knight would have been the squishiest one. There's just the fact that the Dark Knight didn't get a healing effect attached to its short cooldown defensive, unlike all the other tanks, is brutal. It's painful. You could argue that TBN is indirectly a heal because you're blocking damage, but 25% of your health blocked, I think, is less than like Holy Sheltron heals over its duration. Just as an example. And Pokeshack says, I thought that I would heal a lot with Holy Sheltron, and oh my god, I died or spammed Clemency, and that had a white mage. Normally, you should be fine in most pulls with doing Holy Circle. But sometimes you need to go the extra mile. Not all healers are equally good, so sometimes you have to do the extra bit to compensate. And in those scenarios, I think that it is better that you have the option to compensate than if you didn't. Like, having the ability to use Clemency is better than if you didn't have the ability to use Clemency, right? This is really strange. Hi guys. Don't mind me. Just unleashing the plague on your team just because it's funny. Why are you targeting me? What did I do? You are aware that's not going to cut it when I'm not alone, right? You do know that. Surely you do know that. This is a really, really scary position to be in. Because the yellow players are just coming in from behind where we're fighting. Nikolai says, never underestimate people's stupidity. You're right. That's also why I always say it's better to follow it's better to agree on a bad strategy than to not have a strategy at all. Did that bot just jump? Yeah, and 4 healer party. And Luna is a sage this time. After all this time where yellow had the spots, they have 0 points. Did we kill that many of them? That's impressive, honestly. They basically threw themselves at us so aggressively that they spent all of the points they gained from the aggressive maneuver in the first place. That's hilarious. Ha! The Scholar Squad. No! I can't do any more for you, Sip. I had 2 shields. You have gotten them. You have received everything I have. I have tried. Now it falls on you. Now we're getting hit from behind. This is an interesting position. Have my... Oh. Well, I tried. Have I? Oh. I will... Oh. Poof. This expedient is so nice that you can just like choose someone that you want to attack and then you can just get the sprint and just run up and do it. That was a... I think that was a good one. Now, you might be thinking, why is it the yellow team is suddenly pulling back so hard and just getting murdered? Now, the reason for that is that they realized that there was a point on the west, so they just decided to abandon where we were still fighting here. You have seen this happen to me a lot of times, where the team just randomly went, ooh, shiny, and just went the exact opposite way out of nowhere. Ha! This is a scary place to fight. Yellow team is in a pretty good position to fight back, and we should be fighting red, honestly. Yeah, yellow is not having a good day. It's not a good day on Seal Rock for the Twin Adders. The big spread. I think I caught pretty much everyone with those dots. Now having some ninjas to pick off the stragglers is also nice. Yeah, Sip had too much pain to do the LB. My advice, if you aren't already doing that, Sip, is use your cast to like ready your limit break. And also guard at the same time, because if you use both, then you will be able to much more easily survive, and then you can just, you know, you get around 5 seconds to choose who you want to put it on. That is a lot of damage, I think. You know, the massive animation, like the huge wind tornado when... Oh, we have to run. Suddenly sandwich. The huge wind blast when you use Expedient is a pretty interesting way to give everyone warning that the Scholar is coming. Is this a safe side to attack from? Whoops. I used the deployment on the wrong person. Oh boy. I don't know if I hit anything with that. I got an assist, so I hit something. Oh, watch our backs. We don't want to fight those. Yep, this is not a fight we want to have at all. We just want to leave them to it. Yeah, Pokejack's got it. It's just a big tornado, and that means incoming biolysis. It's extra scary because since deployment tactic has like way more range, it means that when you see the biolysis applied, then you can start running and it won't be enough. The Scholar can still be onto you. No! That came as a little bit of a surprise. I feel like I've spent most of the match having a pretty clean overview of what's going on. And the moment that I lose sight of what's going on for just a moment, I immediately died. We're still winning though. Everyone have some biolysis. You'll like it. I know you will. Ah. That's probably the wrong target to use it on, because I don't think they were in range of anyone. Oh, you got it. This is absurd. Absolutely silly. Where's the other scholar? Guess they didn't I guess the other scholars didn't feel as much in tune with their plague doctoriness. Did it feel better this time, Luna? Or Phantasar? I forgot to check how your score was, and I remembered that I should have checked right there when I clicked leave. But if you felt like it went well, then that's good enough. It felt better. That's good. Well, we're having a pretty good score. But that can always change. Yeah, what we were talking about before the Frontline was tanks in the low 80s, like at the start of Endwalker content. The thing is that if your healer is strong and reliable, then it almost doesn't matter what tank you have. These days, a Dark Knight might not get a particularly massive amount of healing value out of their TPN, because it's just a shield of 25% of their health that's going to last very little time. But the fact that they've added so much healing to Living Dead means that every time you do a pull and use Living Dead, you save the healer a lot of work. But the problem is that using Living Dead is a lot harder than using any other involved. Sip says check the DM. I mean, I don't know where that is on the rest of your things, but if you feel like that's a good place to put it, then that's a good place to put it. I use this setting with limit break over my action bars like this for everything in PvP. That's a good meme, Pokeshack. When the team finally stops needing heals, the White Mage finally glare. There are some other tricks you can watch out for. Oh, by the way, Zip, you should make sure to queue in as a job that needs experience. You don't have to queue as the job you want to play. You just have to switch when you enter. But the job that gets the experience at the end is the one that you started as when you entered. So what you should have done is queue as Samurai and then switch to White Mage. You want red tomes as well? Fair enough. Ha! Zip says, I want red tomes as well, since I want the third relic weapon. Yes, the third relic weapon. That's a great idea. That's a healthy way to go about it. One relic about a month. That's not bad. Pokeshack says, and Frontline roulette is a decent experience and very good experience when it's the first one of the day. Exactly. Now, I'm not sure how good the experience is when you're spamming it. I have no idea. When I used Frontline at all for experience reasons, at that time, I only did it once a day. Exactly once a day. Which meant that I never noticed how much it was worth when spamming. And these days I don't have anything to test with. One day we'll have to do PvP stream as Small Kai. Wouldn't that be something? What job are we playing today? Dragoon. Again? Yes. Yeah, Pokeshak, switching up the leveling strategy is super healthy. It makes it easier to prevent yourself from burning out doing it that way. So I think that's a good thing. The way that I went about it is that I did all of the dailies and then spammed dungeons. But back then, or well, at the start of Endwalker, my day was like, you know, as soon as my holiday ended, it was like, go to work, get home, do a certain amount of stuff on videos that is necessary to like keep up with the weekly video on Saturdays, Fridays now. And once that was done, I would do daily roulettes, all of the ones that made any sense in terms of experience, that didn't make me feel pain inside my soul for doing, namely main scenario quest roulette. And then I would just spam dungeons and stuff, you know, exactly as I described in my leveling guide, like precisely as I described it in my leveling guide. The only difference is that the mix-up I did was that I was making videos. But that also got very tiring. The thing is that I don't get burned out by grinding very easily. So I didn't mind. I have actually done the MSQ roulette since reaching level 90 with everything. But it has been... That has been like... If I'm very bored and felt like doing something different, I like less than once a month, I would say, since Endwalker's release. Which is also why I'm not very familiar with the changes. Ah, here's the battlefield. Excellent. And this is awkward. We pushed the red too far back, so now we have to contend with yellow more directly. What? Hold this, Mr. Bard. Ow. That got dangerous a little suddenly. I don't know if that limit break saved anyone, but it was worth a shot. And if anyone's up there fighting, I guess my pet is still healing them. I guess. I hope. Yeah, I don't really like doing MSQ roulette very much, because it's just so not a lot of stuff happening. But I think it has gotten better with the reworks. Why are we not taking the spot behind us? It's a little strange. And what's happening there? Sip, what's happening? Why? How? Oh wait, never mind. For some reason I didn't realize that our base was the west side. Because all of the previous matches it has been not the case. So I just viewed it as, he's in enemy territory. Oh dear. It's just always funny to just drop dots on everyone. It's very satisfying. Ha! Ha! Now it didn't actually work out the way I hoped it would, but I did actually manage to plant my dot on the Black Mage that was nearly dead, that the Dragoon managed to run towards. I didn't manage to kill them with it or something. That would have been hilarious. But I managed to do exactly what I set out to do. Uh-oh. That was a hero heal, whoever that was. Just nullified the drill on me. Did we get out of it mostly unscathed? Yeah, spread the dot, White Mage. Thank you. Isn't that ironic? Which point is this? Is that easy to defend? That's a pretty good one, maybe, I think. Spread it far and wide, and now we're in a sandwich position. You know, I don't get to, oh boy, to cast Royal very much, but it feels like every time I do it, it just leads to a chain of events that ultimately gets me killed. Oh yeah, that's true, Pokejack. There's so much time in the Porta de Cumana where you're just standing there, waiting for the boss to do a thing. It's only one big cutscene, but it's just a lot of forced stuff where you can't do anything. Yellow got a huge lead out of that sandwich earlier. That was random. I'm a bit impressed by how far that Dark Knight pull dragged me back. But yeah, that was a difficult spot to be in. I should have ran way sooner. Well, it seems like we are winning the point, despite everything. It just sucks when you get killed. There's the whoopsie. Which means that that samurai is probably safe to attack. Ha! Hey Bo, how are you doing? Probably not PvP. I have a PvP starter guide intended mainly for Crystalline Conflict, but beyond that, I mostly do PvP streams to showcase the game, just for fun. I feel like some people might find it motivating to try it when they see that it isn't that scary in Frontline. It is super scary. Yes, for some it is, but you can see this madness isn't that scary, it's just silly. And now I'm going to die, as my team just ran away without me. Sadness. Frontline is messy, that makes it so scary. Well, I think that a lot of players find PvP just as an idea scary because you feel like you're expected to do a lot and know what you're doing, which is more the case in Crystalline Conflict. In Frontline, it's just this. This big pile of chaos, as you can see. Wow. I'm not sure how it didn't end up with either team just completely dead at the end of that exchange. I suppose it's still a possibility that either side just outright dies. Yes, Battle Hive 5 Dragoon. Will you run back to your team to survive? Or let yourself be killed and deny me the satisfaction of spreading my dot to your entire team? After all that, we still lost the point. Slowly, but surely. Enjoy dots, friends! Hmm. Does that paladin have limit break? What is happening? Like, when you see a job like Paladin just run in like they're actually invulnerable, the only reasonable explanation is either that they're not smart or they have limit break. And they want you to try and kill them. Ha! Ha! The white mage killed the bard. The white mage came too close so I could place my dot and spread it to the bard, who then promptly died. Ha! That was excellent. Now that was good. We still lost, but we also didn't do nearly as much damage as this entire army of yellows. It seems like they had a pretty good setup for AoE. Multiple Dark Knights to clump up everyone, multiple Dragoons to burst, Summoners to burst, and hell, they even had a Scholar. Let's see, what did Pokeshack say? I mean, I like the story of the game, and that moment was quite epic, the Porta de Comana one. Let's say that I like playing this game, not watching a half-hour movie, or waiting 5 minutes for the things the boss does in Porta de Comana. Yeah, the thing is that there used to be a time where you could skip the cutscenes in main scenario quest roulette. When they removed that option, they like doubled or even tripled the daily reward from it. They increased it so much to make sure that it was still worth it. These days, especially when there's mock tome events, people tend to forget this. The reason why the rewards from main scenario quest roulette are completely busted is because it is like a guaranteed 30 minutes investment. It needs to be really worth it when you're forced to watch the cutscenes, right? And the only reason why people actually care about there being cutscenes is because the players that ask for no cutscenes or being able to skip them see this and this especially, and go, what, if we could skip the cutscenes, this would be effective. Sort of. Still not. Battle on the Big Bridge is still better, I'm pretty sure. Pokeshack says, you can find streams of me, playing different jobs, and in almost every stream I ask him how the job in question works in PvP, so in almost every stream there is a moment of explanation of the class. Yeah, there's usually a point where I'll at least test out the job and showcase it a bit, and there's also some like learning experience throughout the stream, because I usually, like, I haven't played Scholar in Frontline or Crystalline Conflict in preparation for this stream. The only thing I've done is maybe like refresh my memory on the abilities, and that's it. So when I say on the community posts about me doing PvP that I'm learning how to play the job in Frontline, it's not untrue, because I have not played the job very much in Frontline in preparation for this. What if we put the map here and we lock it? This is probably better, so that we keep having the map open, right? This. And Nikolai says, I thought WoW PvP was a as a non-Final Fantasy 14 player, I'm so confused. Yeah, there's some people that have brought up before that they're impressed that I played Frontline with all effects turned on. That's a significant difference between World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy 14 is that you can, I don't know if this is still a thing, but last time I played World of Warcraft, there was a lot of animations that were hidden, and there was no option to turn them on. In Final Fantasy 14, that is entirely up to the player's discretion what things you want or don't want visibly shown at any one time. Oh dear. And get out of this. I think the answer is yes, despite being that deep into enemy territory. Poof. That is a lot of red. I keep forgetting that I already have the map open. Can we get that machinist from here? That doesn't seem very feasible. Oh, there was the whoopsie. Oh, whoa. I think we got a bunch of people this time. Not enough to turn the tide of battle, but we got a bunch of people. I can't do any more for you, friend. These red players are really close to our base right now. And we have to contend with both blue and red. Yeah, now we're 0 yellow. That's true. It's unfortunate. We might still be able to recover from this. The problem is that if red doesn't even let us get out of base, that might be extremely hard. I guess our respawn invincibility got to them. That's a fun fact, if you haven't noticed in Frontline. When you run out of spawn, there is like a grace period of, I think it's like 10 seconds, where you're completely impervious to damage, which is why it can be very difficult sometimes to contest points really close to a specific team space. Or if you try to spawn camp a team, it's significantly easier to fight back if you have like 10 seconds of complete invulnerability where the enemy can't actually fight you. Makes it a little bit easier to survive. I didn't know for sure if we were going to get sandwiched. So I would rather just pass them some dots and call it a day than run up there in the choke point. There's a lot of scholars tonight. Or maybe they're just very noticeable on the battlefield. Okay, we have a point right now, so we're getting something. Maybe not. There's an elephant. Get back here, elephant. I'm not entirely sure what the strategy is right here. It's not sure where we're supposed to go, and I see that there's a bunch of other people that were asking the same thing in the same, like, 30 seconds of me thinking it. Why is it that we're a bit everywhere and nowhere at the same time? This might not be the safest entrance into this battle. I'm going to take the long way around rather than risk running through that massacre. We might be able to just exit and just get the points. Someone calls focus blue. Can we get this? We can. Now the question is whether we defend it or we continue to pressure blue. Alternatively, just deal with random stragglers that decide to attack us in particular. That's certainly also an option. Red just sending one guy. The ninja squad that thought they could just get away with a free steal, but they didn't realize that the entire team is there, waiting for them to do that. The best choice here might be to just slowly force our team to exit, because we don't want to fight right here, I don't think. This is dangerous for us and does not do what we want to do anyway. This is however something that we would like. It's just completely undefended by any team. Yeah, that's not happening. Hey Robert, how are you doing? Oh, blue is coming in. Coming in hot. You're doing good, that's great to hear. Frontline's going a bit back and forth. Hard to say. I feel like Scholar's really fun. Because it's very satisfying to get the outbreaks with Biolysis deployment tactics. Like that alone can compensate for a bad match. Yes. Nice. Goodbye to that battle high five. The reason why I just dropped a limit break randomly in the, for no reason is because it's just standing out in the open like that. I think it might be helpful to already have some like free heals coming out. I don't think we were in a very safe position. Best choice is still to like disengage now. There's a good chance that red might just out of nowhere flip and attack us because we're in the lead now. And we will not survive if both of the enemy teams suddenly turn 90 degrees and attack us instead. Like that. Exactly, like that. Hey Ralo, how are you doing? Top 500 Scholar player? I don't know. We actually had a match earlier where I did the most damage by a significant margin. Whether that makes me the best is hard to say. And Robert says, normally when I do something wrong, I something totally randomly, it's because I hit the wrong button. In this case, I needed to hit the button twice to use my limit break for no reason. So that one would be difficult to sell, I think. I decided to place the limit break because the limit break appears to have a short cooldown and it heals for quite a lot. So it's better to just drop it down. It's almost like a healing Sage limit break. It feels surprisingly potent. Zip, keep running, don't look back, just keep running. You're dead the moment you stop running. Oh, this is bad. All of a sudden it's really bad. We were very close to winning. See, this is sort of what I was thinking of when I said that both of the enemy teams might just flip and attack us together and then we will die. This is pretty much exactly what I was picturing when I said that. Ow. That was a sudden whoopsie. We lost like 70 points in the last 30 seconds to just getting wrecked by the other teams. Rala says pretty good, just going through Stormblood on an alt and playing different games. Hey, as long as you're having fun. Oh no. We're getting camped in our... Where is everyone? Why is everyone not in the base? Nice. Got both of the ninjas with the dot. Now, that wasn't the best pathing choice to run through the dot on, but here we are. The main reason why it's so important to like snipe the ninjas with the dot is because as long as the dot is taking on them, it's complicated to get any actual helpful use out of their stealth. Like they can't hide because every time the dot ticks, they get shown again. See, it went really well, but it got a little awkward when half of the team were allowed to leave our base and the other half was camped. That was when we lost so many points, because somehow half of the team didn't really care that everyone else was stuck at home. Robert says, what is the spell that's shaped like a green donut on the ground? Oh, I can show you. Let me just queue us up, and then I'll show you. So the donut on the ground is the summoner's spell called Slipstream. It looks like this. What it does is that friends standing in it gets a speed boost. Enemies standing in it get slowed, I believe. No, they just take damage. 4,000 damage every few seconds. I believe it's 4 ticks over 12 seconds. It's really awkward because the way that ground-placed dots work in PvP is that every few seconds they reapply themselves, and usually they last like 5 seconds, which leads to them lasting, you know, about 1 tick more than they can apply, and that's also why they have a really strange duration. For instance, Slipstream has a 10-second duration, but the dot ticks every 3 seconds, as you would expect dots to do. Like, if you've ever heard like rules of the game, like dots tick every 3 seconds, heal over time effects, heal every 3 seconds, things like that, the instant you enter PvP, it becomes depends on the job. It's complicated. But usually it's that in PvP they still tick every 3 seconds, but they have a super janky duration of like 5 seconds or 8 seconds or whatever. Yeah, the summoner does not have that much control over where the donut lands, because it's just centered on whoever they cast it on. So, It's not like they can, like, prepare the battle arena beforehand. So what other games are you playing, Rallo? Oh, wait a minute. Now it says 5 minutes. What happened to our wait time? Where's players? We want to play game. Thank you. Hey, wait a minute. I see Luna and Seb are becoming best friends already. That's a lot of acronyms. I'm guessing... I can see Phasmophobia and Call of Duty. And Rainbow Six Siege and Minecraft and Overwatch 2. I'm guessing that PSO is, I don't know, Phantasy Star Online? I don't know. Okay, it is Phantasy Star Online. A lot of shooters. I will stand at this position, since no one else will. Nope. What? That's just... What? That's just a 5-star right out the gate. No! My dot landed on a guard. That's terrible. There's nothing to spread then. I think I did it again. That's annoying. Now blue is probably getting sandwiched. And the resulting mayhem seems to be that no one has the point, but yellow gets the point. Why is that person marked specifically? Huh. Seems I managed to safely sneak in a dot on the samurai trying to bait for presumably their limit break. I think I placed that on a guard again. That's really bad. Why am I so magnetized towards those right now? That was lethal. The person decided to mount up in the middle of the battle like that. Oh, blue incoming. Rowler says, have I even gotten teabagged in PvP yet? No, I have not. And also, if you do any PvP in Final Fantasy XIV, piece of advice, don't do that. Because that can actually get you banned. And I'm not making that up. That is actually something you can get banned for. Bad sportsmanship is actually something that can get you banned. So don't do it. Unfortunately, bad sportsmanship also includes throwing fireworks at people's corpses, despite how hilarious it sounds. Not allowed. I mean, the main thing is that you'd have to actually go through the procedure of reporting someone. Not that it is super difficult, but I imagine a lot of players just can't be bothered. Like, if you're the kind of person that thinks it's funny, then you're probably not going to, like, report something like that. You'll just think, eh. I have talked about this on stream before. I think it might have been back when we did Crystalline Conflict, like when someone marked other players just randomly and aggressively to say that the person is bad or something, like putting an ignore marker on them and stuff like that. I would usually bring up that it is bad sportsmanship and you should not do that. And yes, you can also report people for aggressively marking you and spamming messages in Crystalline Conflict. That is also something that is not allowed when you're doing it maliciously. The long and the short of it is, when you're playing PvP, play to win. Everything you do beyond that is unnecessary. Don't mess with your team or the enemy team. Just fight, play well. That's all you have to do. So yeah, I have not experienced that. I have experienced getting randomly marked when someone was mad that I did something that they thought was the wrong move. Usually that is often followed promptly by them doing something even dumber, so I mean, that's also a piece of advice. If you're trying to be toxic and messing with other people for making a mistake, it's basically grounds for people messing with you back when you inevitably make a mistake. It's just better to just be friendly. Sip says, have I never teabagged you in a raid? I don't know, but among friends it's a little bit of a different story. Robert says, tips on how best to be toxic with Kaitsu. Step 1, don't. It's that easy. Don't be toxic. At best, you're just annoying everyone. At worst, you're demotivating your team, which ultimately is going to lead to your team losing. But don't be toxic. The more you know. Just don't be toxic. You'll win more. Win more. Also, why is it our team is spread in every single corner of the universe instead of going somewhere concrete? But yeah, don't be toxic. Don't bother. Doesn't help anyone. Not your friends or your enemies. And also it can get you banned. As an added bonus, you can get banned for it. If enough people decide to report you for it. Try now! Ralus asks if Scholar is funnier than White Mage. I think Scholar is a lot more enjoyable. The problem is that right now we're having some matches where it feels like we're not really doing much. So it makes it a little difficult. But White Mage has a lot of distance between where there's something that's really, really nice. Meanwhile, you just need to do this with the Scholar and you're already having a good time. Just spread your dots and you're already having a good time. Now the problem is when your team isn't fighting much, you're not getting very many assists, and if you place up dots on an entire team and then one of the other teams gets all the kills, then you basically just help them to get the kills, which is something you don't want. Like there, I invested all that effort, and yellow team got the reward for it because my team didn't have the enough pressure to pull through. There's a lot of marks getting moved around. Oh, that's a whoopsie coming up. Yeah, whoopsie. I even saw it. Like, I look at the samurai, start casting, and go, he has chitin up. Anyway, finishes my cast, immediately dies. Like, that was instantaneous punishment. Oh, I didn't even notice if it's Gunbreaker this time. Looks like yellow's getting sandwiched. Whether we would like to be part of this is hard to say, because if blue gets the majority of the kills, they win right now. Do we get to have this point? I think we do. Do we have a plan? It seems like we have like 4 or 5 people just hanging out. Ralu asks, what does the Scholar ult do? So the Scholar Limit Break places down Seraph, which casts an effect that is basically removes 1 debuff from everyone, apparently, and then it also applies Excogitation to everyone around it for 8,000 healing when they need it. And then it will repeatedly cast Seraphic Veil, which effectively heals for 4,000 and shields for 4,000, so 8,000 health, you could say, just cast randomly. And then you can cast it again for Consolation, which is just an AoE version of a Seraphic Veil. So just AoE 8,000 to everyone again. And when you cast it, you also get the effect from Expedient, which makes your next Biolysis or Adlocurium 50% stronger. Now the thing is that the 50% stronger part is expressly only for the damage or shielding component, if I remember correctly. Which means that when you use it on Adlocurium, it just means that it's a 60,000 heal and a 60,000 shield. Whereas if you use it on Biolysis, it goes from being a 15,000 dot to being a 22,000 dot, which is significantly more helpful. So usually you only want to use this recitation effect on Biolysis. So if you could plan it out some way, you would want to use Expedient Biolysis, and then when the next Biolysis comes around, you use Seraph, and then Biolysis again to like reapply it with the strong potency. But that's usually not how it goes down. So you just surprisingly effective to just drop the Seraph somewhere when you go into a big battle, because it seems that most of the effects of the Seraph are preemptive effects, and then it'll apply active effects as it goes along. So you just want to place it down the moment you're like, I think we're going to be fighting something. It sounds a lot more complicated than it really is. But that's also not like, I don't know how much we talked about how Scholar works in PvP tonight, but the grand scheme of things is that you have Biolysis every 15 seconds, you have up to 2 Adlocuriums, but that's also 1 every 15 seconds, and you have Deployment Tactics every 15 seconds. When you're trying to do the most damage, you pretty much want to apply Adlocurium to yourself, because it means you do 8% more damage for 15 seconds. So you do Adlocurium to yourself, Expedient, just run up to someone in the middle of a pack of players, and then you do Biolysis and Deployment Tactics. And then you just hang out. Like, if it's safe, you can use Broil. If someone is alone, or it's safe to run up to them, you can use Mummification, which does like a cone of AoE damage. But the more important factor is that it also reduces healing received. So if you're having problems with someone spamming heals, like a warrior or something, running up and giving them Mummification can help with that. As you've noticed, it seems like warriors don't really care. They heal so much that it doesn't matter. The trick with Expedient is that it does so many things. Makes you sprint for 10 seconds, makes you take less damage for 10 seconds, and it makes your next of these two spells better. So it's the best way to approach attacking the enemy is just Adlocurium yourself, mostly for the damage buff, but also for the shield and healing. Expedient, run up, Biolysis someone, deployment tactics on them, and then just make sure you're safe. If you don't need the other deployment tactics, you can, when you use Adlocurium on yourself, use deployment tactics to spread it to friends. Again, that's mainly for the damage boost, not so much for the shield, because it doesn't do that much. It's not that incredibly impressive for a shield, but it's pretty good to give everyone 8% damage output. In fact, it is good enough that Scholar somewhat recently got nerfed. Like, the damage reduction from Biolysis and the damage gain from Adlocurium used to be 10%. Yeah, but apparently, I'm guessing in Crystalline Conflict, having a job that can, almost whenever they like, give all of your enemies 10% less output and give all of your friends 10% more output is really good. Really good. And also, while you're making all the enemies do 10% less damage, you also hit them for somewhere between 33 and 50% of their health, which is totally fine, right? So it's pretty strong. It's just that the gameplay of Scholar is so heavily focused on placing these Biolysis things and Adlocurium things that it feels like you're spending a lot of time just running. But I think that's more just a matter of not knowing where's safe. Like, when we played White Mage, we spent an absurd amount of time just running around too. I guess I ran in too deep. Wait, why is Red here? Why is Red here? Get out of here, chumps. Why is everyone fighting over our point specifically? Ah, I shouldn't have used deployment tactics there. Now I don't have one for spreading. I keep forgetting that. This looks insane with all these Bahamut's. I don't know if we're in a good spot. I think what it boils down to whether we got a decent amount of battle high out of this big exchange, because we're not ahead. After all that, we're not ahead. So much for me trying to help the bard running, right? Is half of our team in one of the other, like, on the other point, or what's going on? Feels like we're heavily outnumbered. Where's everyone? Very effective stacking a lot of AoEs on top of each other, I have to say. Enjoy, Poke Check. I hope you get some good groups. Not sure what the point of that limit break was. You just pressed the limit break so you could survive for 5 seconds more. Wait, we got the kill for that? Oh, nice. I'll take it. Let's see if we can still survive this. Does not seem like a good exchange. Might be best that we run away. It was worth standing with our limit break for a little bit. I think we're going to get sandwiched. Just no chance when our point happens to be the point between both of the enemy teams. You said before that you want a sandwich. Oh yeah, that's true. But I prefer that when the sandwich consists of my enemies. I don't think I can save him. That's on whether he can run fast enough. Now what do we do? Now we have a point next to the yellow team. And all of the points are placed in a perfect line. So whatever happens, we're going to be the party that's just hanging out on the sidelines. I feel like North seems to be a very, very problematic spot to have. Just like in Unsalaka, it felt like that South was a terrible spawn to have. Somehow, the spawn that is like on the vertical axis is bad. Let's see. Can we save them? We might. Oh right, needs to be on my team. That's just not super optimal that you can't use deployment tactics on friends if they're not specifically on your team. Yeah, and the healing, I don't know if it works either. The AoE healing from the limit break, I mean. And that's that. Oh well. I still did a lot of damage. And the summoner did too. Despite us being so far behind, we did a lot. Some of us did, at least. Sip says, this and the last game we had someone that went, let's just lose it fast. Did they say that? Yeah, someone said we have a nice score. And then someone said just lose it faster. I guess their argument was that we were so far behind that there was no point trying to win, but it didn't look like anyone was trying to lose. Seemed like those two really got at each other's necks, because later the person calling out the score mentioned that yellow is in the lead, and the other person was like, oh, thanks for giving us news. That's a little bit aggressive. I still think that the match went just fine. It's just that we were unlucky. Are you both ready to go again? Okay, Luna's leaving. That's alright. Thank you for coming, Fantasar. Hope you have a good evening, I guess. Or a good night, if you're on the way to bed. That's also an option. Oh. I need to spend some wolf marks. Thank you, Fantasar. See you very soon. What should we buy? I mean, we could buy some of these. Buy, I don't know, some of these. Even a somewhat steady supply of those. Get some of these. There you go. Wolf marks are surprisingly cost effective to buy, like, especially dark matter, because it tends to be way more expensive if you want to buy it for like company seals. Well, I think we have like time for maybe 2 more matches. That sort of makes sense. I think last week we got 11 matches, but I think there were some matches that went particularly fast somehow. Yeah, that's true, Sip. There's a whole bunch of things for wolf marks and trophy crystals and stuff that you might want to pick up. I just have everything, that's why I'm spending it on consumables, essentially. I know, shocking, after months of doing PvP every single week, I have everything that you can buy for PvP currencies. Incredible. Yeah, I guess this is a good time as ever to remind everyone that come with the next patch, these portraits are going to be shown when you enter a dungeon, I believe. And when you do PvE content. So you may want to freshen these things up for jobs that you play to make a good first impression. It's like how in Crystalline Conflict that you get those like you see the portraits when you start. Now, since the queue time seems to be a little long, then I might as well talk about something else. If you aren't already in it, I have a Discord community server. There's a link in the pinned comment in the live chat, where we talk about, well, things related to the channel or whatever. We have just recently added a glamour sharing channel because someone suggested it. Ghost Howler did. We also have like some other just fun channels. It's not a particularly massive community server, but some of the advantages to following it is, if you like to follow the content that I make, is that there is a channel dedicated to always containing the most recent schedule. So instead of having to watch out for a tweet or a community post, you can just check the Discord, and there the schedule will be. Similarly, I always put a little announcement whenever I post content, which includes a link and a localized clock of when it's going to happen. So if you are, for instance, in the US or somewhere in the Asia, like in Asia or something, then in addition to the time, the GMT +1 time that I normally add, there will be a time adjusted for your local PC time, which can sometimes be more helpful if you're having a little bit of a rough time translating 8 in the evening GMT +1 into wherever you are in the world. And then there's the link, so you can just click there and you get the notification when something happens, which means that you have a better chance of seeing when I'm suddenly in the Frontlines. That is also a great opportunity to just talk with me about something, like, for instance, if you are interested in... If you play on an EU data center, it might be easier to figure out you, for instance, joining for a Frontline if you're on the Discord, in comparison to if you are just coming in to the live chat throughout the stream and going, oh yeah, he's on Louisoix, isn't he? So there's a lot of small advantages if you like my community to be in the Discord community server. Yeah, that's the little we're waiting for the queue to pop spiel. And now we're in the top side again. If we lose again because we're just getting boxed out, then I think that the top spot is strictly a disadvantage to spawn in. Or maybe it's just me making up excuses again. Boy. Are you serious? Nothing like really near us at all. Oh boy. I tried. I tried helping. And yoink. That's a nice point you got there, which is mine now. That's just a random yellow paladin. And we got the first battle high. I wonder if we can keep that up. Just random dragoon jump there. I have a feeling that white mage is lining up something. I feel like our team is splitting up now. Like we have this pillar situation. It's not going super well. Which one are we going for? Both? It appears like we're going for both. That might be a fatal option. Unless red doesn't want to compete for it. Seems they don't. They're coming in a moment. I'm almost certain that they're coming up shortly, and then we'll just get run over. Or we're gonna get sandwiched from behind. It's equally an option. Not sure what you're trying to do, Monk. That was not smart. That was really not smart. What was that? What was that? They just ran up to me. Did he just walk up and down smash? Or whatever that quote is. Oh, this is not safe. Huh? Why did I get tagged by a Reaper there? That was just instantaneous death. I think that was a worth it limit break if it means that we'll survive. But it feels like we're in a very much losing position again this map. What? What are you doing, White Mage? Why? Why? What? What was the point? Wasting our time so that we fall behind? The wrong team. You're stalling on the wrong team. We got one. I don't think either of those deployment tactics did anything. What are we going for? Nothing? Okay, excellent. Nice. I guess. It seems like we're slowly catching up by being served some very, very crucial 3 points. I feel like throughout this evening I've noticed that Adlocurium is a lot stronger for its shielding component. That I killed someone with my dot that I couldn't even see. Anyway, that the 8000 heal shield effect of Adlocurium is a lot stronger than you'd initially believe. It just has to be somewhat feasible to save the person in the first place for it to be worth it. This is scary. Yeah, of course. There's no chance there. I should have ran much sooner for there to be even the smallest chance of survival. Oh well. I'll give you everything I have. It's not a lot, but it's something. Which ninja did that? It's just a ninja L being another ninja for no damage. I think this was a pretty good time to quickly drop down the limit break. It might get full value since we're fighting here for a while. Fighting both teams, they say? Where's red? Where's red? And we already have limit break again. Excellent. Now the fight kind of quickly moved away from where I put the limit break, but it's fine. I think it got a lot of value just by having our backs. Hey Sabrikas, thank you. How are you doing? Nope. Seems like there's a big fight over here. Who can we save? Ow. No one. Someone says we need to kill reds. we need to get out of here first. Looks like yellow wants to kill us specifically. No, a point. I think we're losing that. Yep. That is an interesting way to fight red, with our backs against their spawn. Is it good? Good to hear. Oh. I'm just going to disengage from that. I guess the reason why we're getting them from behind was because it is on the ledge point, so that's the only way in. But I just don't think that's a good fight to take in our current position. Although we sort of had to engage red. The problem is that we need yellow to do it too, so we don't get sandwich. Pokecheck says, I went as tank in Alliance. I don't like playing in Alliance because it's too much pressure, and more because I unlocked Nia and I don't know the fights anyway. Oh, well, you need to learn it at some point. The fact that there's 3 tanks means that if none of the, if just one of the other tanks can take the lead, then you don't have to to be the front runner. If it's the last Nia raid specifically, then it might be. Well, honestly, all 3 Nia raids has some fight where all tanks need to be active, right? But the last Nia raid only has a fight where 2 of the tanks need to be active. Oh, you got World of Darkness. Well, that's not so bad. Ah, the classic. World of Darkness is the easiest one for tanks. Well, is it? I don't know. Is it the easiest one? I feel like I would prefer Circus Tower. I would say that the reason why I'm not inclined to say that World of Darkness is easiest is because there are, for example, in the there's the fight where you have to split up for the those portal heads. I can't remember what they're called, but where they suck up someone, push them back. The fact that you need to split up your raid to deal with that makes it really inconvenient, even for a tank. And then there's Cerberus. While you can typically get away with, as a tank, just doing whatever in that fight, actually doing the fight correctly is not easy as a tank. You know, Alliance A, the tank is supposed to tank the ads. I know, shocker, it's not kill ads, it's tank ads. And B is the tank has to go in the belly and tank the ads. And C is tank the boss, of course. But the simple fact that each of the tanks technically has a very, very specific role means that it's a lot tougher than in Circus Tower, where I believe there's not really any, as I recall, there's no bosses that require more than one tank. And then there's the Cloud of Darkness itself, which for the perspective of the tank, the auto attacks of the boss hits like a truck. Like, it's you don't really think about it when you have a good healer, but the auto attacks from the Cloud of Darkness hits extremely hard. Well, if there ever was a point to get completely murderized like this, it would be now, where I had no battle high anyway. But that was a lot of knockbacks. And Sif says that you've done the raid so many times, Word of Darkness, and you believe that it's the easiest one to tank of the Alliance raids, and also that there's almost always a wipe on Cerberus. Not for me. And that doesn't even mean that doesn't even correlate to whether I'm tanking or not. It just doesn't happen to me. And we're getting spawn camped because we're starting in top again. I'm just going to say that we've spawned in top 3 times in a row. And we've been very much in a what feels like an unwinnable spot almost immediately in every single match where we've started in the top. Is there strictly a disadvantage in spawning in the top side of the map? Anyone knows? It feels like it's very easy to camp on specifically the top side. And Zip says he's had a lot of people being greedy with the chains. Yeah, that would do it. That would certainly do it. People just standing there, and then the buff for the chains itself runs out. Just as they need to place it. Just one of these days, someone says. It's just one of those days. What can we do? Have the dots, red team. I just want assists. That's what I came for. Have the dots, yellow team, I guess. Don't know if it's going to work just as well this time, but It seems like we're getting this spot. I think. Can we have it? I think we're losing at the moment that we like relinquish our like grasp on it. Heal the well, I tried. I tried healing the other scholar, get them through the burst, but there's only so much you can do with like 10,000 heals, including the shield. We're getting hit from behind. Awesome. Who can we help? The shield? The very nice assists. We might be able to do some more when we have some damage bonus from a battle high. Hello, Paladin. Welcome. Just need to get away. It's not worth it when there's not even a point to fight for. That is a good spread, and there's just someone standing there, easy to target. No, come back! You took my bile assist, I didn't get to spread it. Darn it. We're at Battle High 4 now. Might we be able to get Battle High 5? Is it a possibility? Or will we die trying? Oh, there's a wildfire on me. Is it going to get developed? Doesn't seem to be. I think if we just push forward, then yellow team is going to steal the point behind us. And then we're going to get sandwiched. Unless yellow is fighting for that point, as they are. This might be fine. Ah! The Dragoon left with my paralysis. Oh, there's a point that spawned way up near our base. I think some of the team is going to get it. That's good. Another assist. Get him! We got the ninja limit break refreshed. Whether they are going to do anything with it or not doesn't matter. They marked someone for death. So death they shall have. Oh, I can't do anymore. They're dead. Felt like I did a little damage, but I didn't get a single assist. I guess yellow got all of it. I'm not super in love with this plan of charging at red right now. Oh, we got it! We got to Battle High 5 in the end! We did it! We did the thing! One Battle High 5! We managed to get it in the end. With some nice 6,000 heals and shields now. And even bigger dots. Need to stick with the team. You just run alone, that's the fastest way to just die. Need to make sure that I don't just run in and die. That's why I got a little finicky there, running back and forth, was I had trouble targeting the person that I wanted to apply my dot to because they kept running further away. I think we're losing to yellow now. They got the freedom to just take 2 points, and no one is engaged with them enough to stop them from winning from just a passive point gain, I think. We're not, that's for certain. Whether red is, unlikely, because we're fighting red. So that's it. This is the end. But I did do 2.5 million damage and got... Okay, so the other scholar somehow got more assists than me and did like 40% of the damage. That's actually impressive in its own right. 2.5 million damage. But that does lead us to the time of the stream where we normally start rounding out. So if there's anything you guys want to talk about, this is the time where we do that. A little bit of a hangout at the end of the stream, as I say. As I mentioned earlier, there's also the Discord community server that you can join for random shenanigans and the same people you know from the stream live chat. Additionally, another thing we can briefly talk about is that you may have noticed that there is it's still rather new, I would say. It's only been there for a few weeks. There is a member button. The purpose of this is that if you would like to support the channel, a lot of people would normally do that through, say, a super chat. Rather than doing that, I would recommend getting a membership. That gives you a fancy colored name in the live chat. It gives you a little gem next to your name that I drew myself. And it develops if you have membership for multiple months. It also gives you the ability to have your name at the end of my videos. That's strictly speaking my videos. There's simply not time in my shorts to show that more than a fraction of a second, then it might as well not be there. Well, there has not been any votes yet, because it's not really a vote if there's not a lot of people, or at least a few people. I do intend to place votes in the specifically for members on YouTube rather than the polls that I've done previously that have been public, because what happens is that I guess the YouTube community stuff just gets, sent to random people, which means that people that don't care but like to see the result of a vote will vote on something to see the result, and ultimately that means that I can have a vote on something where there's like, say, 100 votes, which did happen, and I did exactly the thing that people wanted. Out of that vote. That was the story reading video that came a while back, and it has been, in the past months, it has been the video that has been viewed probably the least of the videos that I have posted, which is why the people that maybe liked it and was really happy for this story reading might be wondering why there is not more story readings. It's simply because there's no reason for me to invest a lot of time in making a story reading video if like 1% of the people that would normally watch my videos are really interested in it. That's a little bit of an exaggeration. It's maybe closer to 5 or 10%. But the point still stands. So for future reference, for the most part, I'll be doing votes and things like that through this membership. That does not mean that it's going to affect really what kind of content that you as a not member would enjoy. But I just wanted to highlight that this membership exists as a way to support me while getting something in return, rather than just basically throwing money at me. I think that's a better way to do it. I I guess there's no questions. I'm guessing that the Pokeshack is extremely busy tanking World of Darkness. Because normally Pokeshack has something that he'd like to ask or talk about. Either way, thank you for joining me in Frontline Sip and Phantasol, but I'm guessing Phantasol left, went to bed or did whatever else they need to do. It's more fun when you have some friends in it. It doesn't even matter whether they're good or not. It's more fun to do Frontline with friends. Speaking of the chaos that Poe highlighted earlier, it is just more relaxed when you have brought a couple friends. It doesn't matter whether you win. It really doesn't. What matters is that you have fun with it, and I do think that it was pretty fun to do with Scholar. It's just a shame that I feel like there's a strict disadvantage in getting the North spawn. Oh, okay. Thank you, Zip. See you. Talk to you soon. And I guess I don't have much else to cover. If you like to play a more defensive role, or you're not super keen on getting real close in the battles, you might find Scholar a good starting point, because unlike most other jobs that are ranged, you have expedient both to run in and away, and Biolysis combined with deployment tactics gives you a massive range to just go in and do some damage. But because of how Biolysis and deployment tactics work, it sort of makes it beneficial for you to run longer, like run deeper into the enemy to get someone that is surrounded by more people. So as you start playing Scholar in Frontline, you might place Biolysis on whoever you can reach and just hope that deployment tactics hits something. And as you get better, you will be more keen on knowing when it is safe to run in further and put the Biolysis up and get the deployment tactics on more people, and you'll do more damage. Now, the main thing is that Scholar isn't very good at like rounding out kills, as you probably saw throughout this stream. You very much rely on everyone else to do that. So you just run in and put the pressure you can, and then it will eventually drain enemies of potion usages, like they will run out of MP, so that everyone else has an easier time dealing with the enemies. And that is good enough. That also means that whereas you might not be super good on this whole bursting someone down strategy that is much more popular in PvP compared to PvE, because you can't, like as a Scholar you literally can't, you just focus on doing damage and try to do damage to the right people and as many people as possible. And if you do it right, you will typically land pretty high on the scoreboard, which is on just damage done, which tends to be motivating if you're new to Frontline. So I do recommend Scholar for starters. Just like I also recommend White Mage for different reasons. If you like to heal, then White Mage is a very good wake-up call, because even with all the healing that White Mage has, you can't save everyone. On the other hand, Scholar is just great for like letting you play something that goes relatively safe, because they can be very far away from the battle, where most jobs can't do that. You can do a lot of you can really do a lot of damage, even though you only were in the battle for 5 seconds. You just go in, drop the plague on the enemies, and just leave. But I think that's all that I have. So all I have to say is thank you all so much for watching, and good night, or good morning, or afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. And I'll see you all very, very soon. At the very least, on Friday, where we have the video premiere, or Saturday, where we continue the story of Small Guy. Where we start on Stormblood's story. There's also another guide coming on Thursday, but that's not a premiere. But yeah, see you all very soon. Good night. Good night.